おはようございます。近況は国パイロットです。今週も、フライトシミュレーターコミュニティですねの公式のイベントに参加しています。日本時間朝、土曜日の朝4時、エクストラ 330L で飛ぼうと思いましたが、よく考えたら私にはスピットファイアがあります。今日もまた、ホーネットが来ますね。ムスタングもいます。一機スピットファイアもどっか似たような気がしたけどな。スピットファイアもいますね。今、おすすめエクストラの330おすすめだったし、乗りやすいので結構乗ってますね。Xbox のリバリーですね。リトルロックというところからセントルイスに飛ぶのかな。どっちから出発かちょっとわかんないですけど、ウィキペディアで昨日調べてきました。どこが全然場所かわからないので、スピットファイヤーをね、アップデートが昨日来てました。昨日はなんかアップデート祭りで F-15 もアップデートされてたし、あと乗った感じではね、ちょっとなんかいくつかバグもあるみたいなんですけど、すごいゆっくり飛べるようになってましたね。ここに今まで苦渋を飲まされていたFA18 や、他の戦闘機と編隊着陸するときについていけるかもしれないですね。スピットファイヤーね、いいですよ、これ。何がいいかって言ってね、気がついたんですけど、スピットファイヤーってね、ここの四角の部分がドアになってるんですけど、これ開けるんですよ、すげえ。出た時はね、キャノピーが開きっぱになってます。これもなんかちょっと開放感があって気持ちがいいです。パーキングブレーキ外してないとえらいことになってるんですよ。あっという間に前に倒れ込んじゃって。昨日ちょっとウィキペディアで調べましたよ。場所がどこかって。アメリカの大体真ん中からね、ちょっと南東に行ったところで、アーカンソー州とミズーリ州だったの、それから両方とも州都ですね。今朝はマーケットプレスもういきなりひっくり返ってる。すぐひっくり返しちゃうんですよね、この飛行機。じゃあ行きますか。前見えないけど。今、コックピット開いたままになってるので、行きますよ。
Imagine there was jet blast on the Pelican. That'd be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Wake Turbulence's model in Reno Air Racing mode is not modeled in regular multiplayer mode, so it'd be so easy to troll other players if you had to deal with Wake Turbulence and jet blast.
Or at least a toggle something to quickly turn on and off.
Yeah. Well, that is an absolutely gorgeous vintage airplane you're flying there, Peter. I love the interior.
It flies really well too, honestly. And I think that the best part of this is, first of all, you have a panoramic view inside. But you also have the little windows at the top. So if you were to do a really sharp turn, which you shouldn't do it in this type of plane, you really get a perfect view of what's in
飛んだ。いやー、これもずっと開けてないな。
Cookie, you want to tell our chat about the Discord server?
窓を閉めるんですけど、ちょっとした、
Exactly. Well, we have an awesome little voice chat for you guys if you're interested in chatting with other people while flying on stream. It's the community flying channel. You have to scroll down to the event section, and you'll be able to have a voice chat there. You can chat. There's 21 people in there, and there's a little chat icon next to the title on that same channel if you want to have access to the chat text for the voice channel.
MKH なんだよな、この
Once again, if you're not already a member of this,
スタンク。 最優秀戦闘この前乗りましたけどちょっと燃料が重いと
look, we do a
燃
fly-in
料の
every
せいか分か
Friday.
りませんけ
So
ど
the next fly-in will be same
ちょ
time
っと
next
操
week.
縦しにくいっていうか安定性のあんまり良くない飛行機でしたね
Someone are asking us what
Because there is some resemblance with the Wing 42,
No,
Wing 247D, for example, with some of
ちょっと油断するとす
the
ぐに追い
quadrant
抜いちゃう
section.
地図だ
It's
と
an interesting mix of vintage and modern avionics.
あ
in
お
the
化けになっ
Twin
ちゃったごめん JU52 わあ
Beach. And truly first
なんか
class
その52かな
luxury accommodations.
気に見えますね
Don't
Yeah,
think
okay,
the Beach 18 is certified for aerobatic flight.
これねなんかバ
Yeah, I
ックファイ
remember
ヤー
seeing
する
some
のが
videos
パカン
like
パカ
at
ン
Angel, they
エン
did
ジ
like
ンの排気
looping,
管から
barrel
ね
rolls, things like that.
あれが出るんで
But the
すよ
plane holds well. That's quite insane.
ちょっと窓開けて開放的な感じで飛びますかね
I mean, this thing also pushes quite hard. I mean, you can go 180 knots before you get into the...
Today, I'm sure most of you have already got it. It's
So,
just a very small bug fix.
無塗装
What happened with
飛行機かな
the US World Update, we got more
私はダー
accurate
クグリーンとダークアース
elevation
の
data
飛
for
行
the
機
entire United States at airports.
なんか
You'll
これ
know
が
that
一番
that's
スピッ
the
トファイヤー
location
っぽ
where all
い
the
気
training
がす
missions
る
take
ので
place in Microsoft flights would
の
denote
3機
when you
ス
had
ピットファイ
successfully
ヤー
taxied to the right
こ
position.
れは
Were no longer correct,
なんでしょう
and
銀
we
色の
identified
飛行
that
機
pretty
かな
quickly after we deployed the world update, and there's a patch for it already. Came out this morning, very small patch, and that resolves that issue.
残念
Behaving,
な
you
がら
can fly at any altitude you like. I'm personally at 3,500. Peter, Cookie, Papa, what about you?
残念ながらなんだ
I'm fighting Yoda pilot, but I'm about
よ
to
うすぐ忘れちゃうな
500.
ああそうか残念ながらプロペラが回ってるように見えませんね
Waypoints. Switch over to my point of view again. Disable my autopilot and descend. Protests
Mark
from
9 ですね
racist people who
Fire
didn't want
Mark
black
9
students
本
at the
当に
side role it played in the
リ
civil
ト
rights
ルロッ
movement.
クってあんまり聞いたことがない年だったんですけどアーカンソー州っていう聞いたことがあるような
There's a
ない
bunch
よ
of
うな
pelicans that
聞い
have
たこ
landed
と
all
は
over
だ
the
けはありま
place.
すけど場所はあんまり知らなかったですけどアーカンソー州の
Go to your point of view.
州都です
Cookie.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Well,
landing right on top of the
結構
school.
なんていうのかな
That reminds me
悲
of
しい事件があって
I don't know if anyone remembers this. The Pepsi Points commercial from the 90s when they had a you could redeem Pepsi points in one of the in the commercial. One of the things you
NVIDIA
could redeem
で
your
調べ
Pepsi
る
points
と
for was a Harrier jump jet.
なん
It showed a
か
kid
リトル
flying
ロ
a
ッ
Harrier
ク事件みたいなのが出てくるんですよ
Anyone remember that?
Yeah, and I also remember there was
1950何年だったのか
somebody actually
57年だったかな
Yeah, well, someone
今
found
から
out
ま
that
だ
you
100
could buy
年は経ってない
Pepsi
戦後
points for like
ちょっと
a
経っ
penny
た
a
後
point
の
or
感
10
じ
cents a point or something.
right.
And they figured out that
で
the
すね
amount that the Harrier jump jet was advertised for was significantly cheaper. Yeah, APOG has got it here. Significantly cheaper than the purchase price
Yeah,
of an
America
actual
は
Harrier jump jet. And so they got a bunch of
あ
investors
の
to
人種差別
you
の
know, go
撤
in
廃
with
の
it
ために
together, buy a
高
bunch of
校
Pepsi
生を
points
ね
and then try to redeem their points for the Harrier jump
白
jet.
人と黒人
And
同
then
じ
when
高
Pepsi
校で通
refused to
わせ
honor
る
this
っ
because
て
they
い
said that
う
was just a joke and it was
こと
obviously a
に決
joke
め
and
た
no
んですけ
reasonable
ど
person would think that we'd give away a military fighter plane as a prize.
この
they
アー
sued
カンソー
Pepsi.
州っていうところの知事はそれに反対
Nice
し
try,
て
though. They tried.
州の軍隊を、
Kudos for trying.
Wow.
出動させて
Muhu, this is Little Rock, Arkansas.
その黒人の生徒9人いたらしいんですけど9人をの投稿を阻止しようとしますでその市長がアメリカ大統領当時の大統領は
All right, first touch and go
Eisenhower
landing for us is going to be at Kilo Lima
アイゼンハワー大統領は州の政治にあまり口出しするのは政治問題を引き起こすので好ましくないっていう姿勢だったんですけ
A
ど
bunch of fun facts. Oh yeah, you know,
アメ
if
リカ
this is
合
your
衆
first
国
time
の
watching,
軍隊を出し
if
て
you lose, please
その
correctly
黒
there.
人
We
生徒を
we explore the world
保
together
護し
here
な
on the
がら
stream every week.
学校
You
に
know,
通
today we're
わ
in the
せ
United
るこ
States
とにしまし
because
た
we just recently released World Update 10 for the United States. We wanted to show off some of the new scenery. But we do try to showcase all different regions, all different countries from all continents, and
なんだろ
try
う
to share a lot of facts and trivia and history and culture and food for all the different places in the world that we travel. I saw someone out in In addition, we also made 2 announcements on Sunday, one of which is already out, and you've seen it before, which is the Halo Pelican. A lot of you were even flying that today. And in addition, we also announced coming later this year, for free, as a big update in November, Microsoft Flight Simulator 40th Anniversary Edition. Again, this is a zero-cost upgrade to all existing Flight Sim players. And what can you get? Well, there's 9 aircraft that have been announced. By popular demand, we're adding 2 helicopters, and of course official support for helicopters to the sim. We're also adding 2 gliders and official support for gliders to the sim. And all of that is coming for free. And then in addition to that, we're bringing back some fan-favorite planes from earlier.
Wait, to what? We are going to Kilo Alpha Romeo Golf, right?
Correct. I mean,
I'm currently escort buying F-18, so...
Oh, not just. You're swarmed.
I'm swarmed.
Yeah, there's quite a couple of planes.
なんかのパラダックスを思い出す。
prototype version.
人間の半分の亀、半分のスピードの亀かなんかが歩いていて、
also, they do have their Foxtrot Tango HOTAS. They haven't announced the release date of that yet, but they have shown some screenshots of it.
その半分の距離を亀が前に進んでいて、また人間が亀の位置に届いた時
that'll be for
に
PC and Xbox.
は亀はまたちょびっと先を
Really exciting for our
繰り
Xbox
返している
players.
と永遠に人間は追いつかないのではないかと
Right now,
い
you
う
got the Turtle
変な
Beach
パラドック
Velocity
スで
1
すけどね。
is available, and
これはこの
more
方法
recently
で
the
時間を進めていくと
Boeing
到着の時間にまたパンパンに
which I
始
got
め
to
た
try
ら
that
ど
as
うすれ
well.
ばいいん
That
だ
is
パン
a
パン
great
に
product.
始めたら
If you're into flying Boeing airliners, and it's a real thing. It's
ちょっとフルパワーで飛ばしすぎなのかな
Captain Arash, I saw you were in chat earlier. You did an unboxing of a Boeing TCA yoke. You're still here, Captain Arash. So let us know what you thought of that after trying it.
また落ち始め
Use
た
all for a lot more early planes and also the Boeing.
Seen as Z2 or Z2, I don't know the
この
title of the
飛
track.
行機は
This
エ
is
ン
from
ジンコント
Epidemic
ロールのや
Sound,
り方がよくわ
which
かん
is
ない
a royalty-free music
前はもっ
service
と
for
気楽に
streamers
飛べ
and
たような
content
気がしたん
creators.
だけど
So we can play this. Get the strong micro.
ま
is,
た
one
墜
of the
落す
developers from
る
Godfriends. Is that right?
や
Yes,
め
they do a lot of
メ
great
イ
stuff.
メニュー
Check out some of their apps, and you get something
でも
absolutely
150
remarkable.
ノットぐらいなら飛べると思うこの新しい新生 F-15 な
Yeah,
ら
me too. Landing, by the way. Not to pat myself on the
150 ノ
back.
ットぐらいでも安定してる
This flight event. Well, thank you so much, Fly Lilo. Once again, anyone who missed the earlier announcement, do check out Fly Lilo's Twitch channel. He is a quadriplegic flight on an English
だいぶゆ
translation
っ
of
く
the
り飛べ
website.
るようになりましたからね
I'm watching Peter
FA18 にもついていけるのでは
Yeah,
ない
but
か
now I'm fine.
やっぱ愛機はいいね
I mean, I guess there's so much more care when you know it's your
Yeah,
plane and you pay the maintenance and you pay for absolutely
Oh,
everything.
but I mean, I keep it all within the envelope, right? So I
Yeah.
only descend within the white band when putting down flaps and stuff like that, and I'll slip it only when I have sufficient airspeed and stuff like that. But I do my
So it's more for the
descent.
fun.
No, it's actually more the lack of preparation. I find myself often too high because I'm not descending soon enough.
タッチンゴアイカン
It's difficult to
車
get
輪
right.
出すの忘れとった
Chimera has
こ
better
の人に
suit
つ
the
いてい
local
くか
audience, where the restaurants were running. So it's American style Chinese cuisine is just as much Chinese as
For flying.
114. You should be cruising at like 170 or 180.
Let's do that.
It's 130 miles
Fly,
for me.
fly
and
like a
I'm-
rental, Peter. Full
Yeah,
throttle.
but that's 160, so
でもイ
it's
ーグ
still
ル
be
も
45
相当
minutes.
遅く飛べるようになりましたからね
We
体
might
調
go
に
a
だい
little
ぶ
bit
つい
late
ていけるようになったと
we
思い
just
ます
zoom
よ
it through just to make sure you're actually
す
still on.
ごい飛行機だ嬉
So
し
they
い
should do that.
な
You're supposed to have both hands on the wheel when autopilot.
やっぱりイーグル最高
Yeah.
And Minecart does that, and when you're not applying too much.
Like that in
これに
real
見え
life
るの
flying anyways, especially in small planes or
Small planes
Oh.
is like, on a good day, it's like driving a Lada on a really bad sand road. You'll get shaken your teeth out.
Speaking of
また
Dark
アメー
Souls,
ジン
two
グ
of
が
them
来た
just flew past me.
この前の人と
But
一
I
緒かどう
see
かはわかんないけ
Laxar
ど
Zero in chat says they
超
built an
名人
actual
が
Darkstar mock-up. Yeah, not only that, but Paramount Pictures, the company that made Top Gun Maverick, they consulted and hired a real engineer, a real aerospace engineer from Lockheed Skunk Works. Now, obviously, the Darkstar is a fictional plane, but they hired a professional aeronautical engineer to say if this was a real plane, what would it look like and how would it behave? And so, you know, it is a fictional plane, but it's been brought to the screen and then it also brought to Microsoft Flight Simulator in the most realistic way possible.
That must be a lot of fun for the engineers doing this, because
サンダーバー
the type
ド
of
の
projects they work
映画
on,
界であるん
they
です
have
よ。
all these
アメリ
constraints
カ
and
空
issues that
軍
we
の
have
競
no
技飛行
idea
チームです
about,
ね。
right?
Oh.
Maybe about micro fissures or little, you know, elements, or how materials are combined. And
アメリカ海軍もで3検体マーベリックはでもいないな。マーベリックやっぱりあれなのかな。
space as well.
乗るのみんなちょっと
These guys
恐れ多いの
basically
かな。
must have
フ
had
ラ
a
イトシミ
clean
ュレーター
slate
ファンは。
where, you know, they're like, hey, you know what, you could have a design however you like it. It needs to be legit, but you don't need to worry about the little details, the little issues that could arise, you know, with this. You know, if your temperature's a little too high or a little too low, well, you know, you could say it's rough enough and it works.
我が
And the
US
reason-
Air Force の
And
花
this is 100% true. You can look this up. Is a different thickness on the ground compared to when it's at altitude going Mach 3.
And you say,
They
which
could-
plane is that?
The SR-71
Sorry.
Blackbird.
Yeah.
They couldn't get it. They couldn't get the seals durable enough to last long enough, so they just didn't bother with seals. And that said, let it leak and we'll refuel.
Just put a plastic bottle. It's fine.
Yo! You get Dark Star.
So yeah, so like immediately after, because you know it has to fly at maximum thrust to get up to altitude, but some of
Ooh.
it because it's actually leaking because the airframe itself expands and contracts.
As DNH says, just put some duct tape. It's fine. I'll be fixed.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
Oh my. I mean, you need
おお
such
でっかい
a
のが来たけどこれでっかい飛行機じゃないんだろうなきっと見えな
Have
い
you
だ
been
け
to
で
Oshkosh Air Venture yet? Great question. I personally have not been to Oshkosh yet. It's one of my where you can fly into Oshkosh and do the
この
famous
ペー
fist
スで
approach
飛べるように
in
なったっていう
Microsoft
のは
Flight
だいぶ
Sim
違う
on
の
Pilot Edge with real life Oshkosh controllers. And so check our dev update, Inquest, if you're around. If you can put a link to that in chat, it'd be appreciated. They have a YouTube trailer that they put out, and we have events. Yeah, thank you, Papa. There's the link where you can sign up and figure out how to participate
うま
now.
いよ
Yes, I absolutely.
And I wrote back to her on Twitter. I was like, you are a monster.
No.
I love that because it's so true. No matter the pet, they'll find a way to bother you.
これ
Like
が
I
戦
have
闘集団
two
なのかな
budgies. You'd be like, okay, well, it's little birds, it's fine. But in the morning, they just start chirping super loudly. If you're on the other side of the house, you can hear them. And there's just nothing you can do about it. As soon as they hear birds outside, they'll just start screaming, chirping loudly. It's insane. It can obviously be tweaked. Like I don't see a reason that this would stay.
I would like a bit of momentum going, but at the moment it's one-on-one
Hey.
joystick.
I mean, maybe it's also kind of connected more closely to the game and how it behaves in the games. I don't know how they had to work that out.
I would have expected a more
Yay.
helicopter-like behavior, so that you have to counter a bit and then, you know. But,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, modern flight computers are able to just have it really move staccato with your joystick. They can do that. But it would, for me, it would be a bit more believable, between quotes.
プロペラが回って見えないのはちょっと残念だけどなかなかええの
Yeah, you can't look stuff behind the
Whoa.
FS archive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yay.
Smart. Yeah.
I'll show you guys on my screen here. This is a real plane from the 1960s called the X-22. And a lot of, you know, dropships from Halo, but also other dropships from, you know, Aliens, very famously, Starship Troopers,
Boing.
StarCraft, you know, a lot of various different science fiction franchises. Avatar would be another one, yeah. Have dropships that look very reminiscent of the X-22, which was a real plane.
Both the Stagger Wing and the Model 18.
But I really do like the Model 18. That's an awesome little, awesome big thing actually.
Will you replace that with your favorite, the PC6?
38ちょっと見たいけどな高いなトムキャットだ
So in
PC,
our
PC6 is still your favorite, Peter?
The Milvis one, yeah.
Yeah.
おー、すげえかっこいい。
Well, that's an interesting conversation we can have.
黒いトムキャットだ。やっぱリバリー持ってなくてもリバリーは転送されて見えるんだ
I
な。
make the most hours in the Airbus H125 helicopter.
Really?
Yeah.
うさぎさんリバリーじゃん。やるなトムキャット。
Like we did a flight in the Alps.
ラグだったか。
I even got a proper collection.
ラグゴーストだった
I'm
か
a。single engine GA guy.
But I gotta say, my favorite is still the Twin Otter. That thing is a beast. Because I do a lot of flights in the mountains. I have to land on small strips very often, so like the Twin Otter is just the perfect mix for that. Though the Kodiak's also very close, so it's always a bit difficult. But Twin Otter it is. What about you, Papa?
For GA, I've been flying Twin Otter as well. I like it a lot. But I'm an airliner guy. I'm a sucker for.
もう最高じゃな。あの赤い飛行機もいいね。あれはエアレースのやつに入ってた飛行機だな。
Technological planes.
Which one?
The last couple of flights have been with the
No.
Phoenix.
悪くないじゃん。すげえ飛行機の。超楽しい。
And really looking forward to the A3.
And didn't necessarily want to fly the default A320 because we've seen it plenty of times. So some people might be a little bored of exactly seeing an A320. I know the A310 is not that different, but it's still different in the cockpit. It's really a different style. So maybe it could be interesting to bring some people more into the airliner world without spending any money on it and getting a good look at how everything works. Such a different logic.
It's a lot more old school, right?
Yes. Yes. So it can only get better if you then go with one of the PMDG 737s as they come out, or maybe we'll hear from Quality Wings at some point for the 787. Then the 777s. Maybe the A380 from Fly-by-Wire. There's just so many things. Very exciting.
So Redbox asks, is there any truth that the Milvis DHC2 is going to be in the 40th anniversary update? Well, the 40th anniversary update includes 5 free planes, one of which is a DHC2 Beaver. And Milvis is one of the third-party devs that has been contracted by Microsoft to develop planes. I'm not sure if we've said specifically which one of the 5 they're developing or not yet. I can't. I don't want to comment on that in case I get it wrong. Certainly, any builds with the A310 is one that's public knowledge at this point.
Well, it stands to reason that there's a Beaver. And Milvis has a Beaver. But yeah, I'm not sure. It might be another one.
So, RJ Frank, that's an interesting point. You think the Pelican is ruining the realism of the multiplayer experience. Yes, let me...
What realism?
Like, here I am, not a Pelican in sight on my point of view, but we've got all these planes flying in tight formation. No one's paying attention to any kind of air regulations. No one's keeping proper separation. So this is fine to you, but the Pelican is what, that's the bridge too far? That seems very strange to me.
I see a 747 at 2500.
I can respect it if you don't want the Pelican. You can remove it from the community, not community folder, from your...
Just don't download it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most people probably download it to see what it was, right? And yeah, just uninstall it and then
you just see a as you will see with any other third-party plane that you don't have, which are probably a lot.
Yeah, I have good hopes to see maybe at some point in the future, maybe a system where the marketplace, for example, would have some kind of demo system where you'd be able to see maybe a lower resolution version of the plane or something, either to test it yourself or to see through traffic through other people. There's
but
so many possibilities.
That would still be then user initiated, right? Because I would hate for events like this, when I would fly around, that my computer would download all these low poly versions of all these planes around. It would completely choke up my bandwidth probably.
Well, I mean, you're already streaming scenery, weather. There's so many things you're streaming.
but I mean, then the fact that other people are going to...
Because what I'm seeing is at some point, with the AI planes that we're going to have, we know that Microsoft is currently working on getting all the AI planes, all the liveries for all the airlines and all that stuff, right? So all the manufacturers, all the airlines. There could be a very simplistic way of connecting that, not just for AI planes, but substituting planes that you don't have as multiplayer. That would be
like,
awesome.
But then, so that would be fine with official quotes planes.
Well, I mean, they're an AI library for the planes that are going to be just AI planes, right? They've been licensed.
That's fine.
They're sitting there. So I would assume maybe have a version for that. We don't know the library of plane manufacturers that Microsoft has on that. There's been very little details because it's such a large piece of work that needs to be done on this, on top of the licensing and performance degradation that could occur with all these models. But it'd be interesting, if you have, a TBM, kind of not generic, but some kind of go-to backup. If
for the
instead of seeing the Bonanza,
700, 800.
well, at least instead of seeing the default airliner, with a pointy nose, at least maybe you get some nice curved wings like the Dreamliner would be, or things like that. That'd be fun.
Pointing case, there's the default airliner.
But that's all speculation so far. I'm sure CD knows some of this, but just can't tell us.
Well, we release as much information to the community as we can as soon as we can, and if we're not commenting on something, it's because we're not authorized to speak to that yet.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yep.
It's work in progress.
Like, for example, the Pelican was a big surprise. I don't think anyone in the community saw that coming.
No.
When it was announced on Sunday.
We
on the team have known about that at least 9 or 10 months ago. Because that's the lead time, if not longer than that, to be honest, that was coming. It's a big surprise, big reveal for the community when it comes out of nowhere and it's available right now. You see the trailer and then you're like, you can fire a flight sim and download it.
っていうのはパーシュートかなんか
Yeah,
で
no wait times.
追
That's
跡
I think
機
a
と
lot
か
of
って
people
いう
appreciated
他の
that.
飛行機を追跡していく飛行機っていう意味です。
You can't win with that. Because then they would argue, okay, if it's already available, then why didn't you mention it earlier? Because clearly you knew it earlier. But if you announce it earlier, then the argument is, why do we have to wait so long?
Yeah.
So you can't win that.
No, we have
Well, it's free. I wouldn't complain about anything that's free. And if you do, then
Have you seen?
I mean, check your priorities. Yes, of the hobby or the community, it's going to be all over the world. You're always going to have, that percentage, and it's fine. I mean, people can voice their opinions. That's the whole point of the forums. Is so there's feedback.
We knew, trust me, we knew that not everyone was going to like the Pelican. And if you don't like it, don't download it. Don't fly it. No one's forcing you to use the Pelican.
おお、あの人は背面飛行の人だ。
Take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Even if you're not personally into it, it still helps you.
It's fan sim in a serious environment. You can have the more relaxed way of flying as well. General aviation, VFR. We've done. CD, you've done a lot of stuff. I think that's really the end goal.
So, speaking for me personally, I'm a real-life licensed pilot, but I fly GA in real life. I fly Cessnas and Pipers, and that's what I enjoy flying in the sims, similar to what I know. I have zero interest in airliners. I can't. I've got the Gateway Arch in sight.
Oh.
Everyone get ready. We're all going to fly underneath the Gateway Arch.
I'm still 23. I'm still 23 miles out. I'm fine.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if anyone's able to set up a drone now.
こいつをくぐりたいのか。そうか、これをくぐるのが今日の目的だったか。くぐる。まず1回。
That was awesome. Wow, that is fun. Oh, and of course.
Yeah, of course we have a Pelican parked on top of it.
Is that holding? Yeah, I'm starting to see the city skyline down there.
Yeah. And there below me, that baseball stadium, that's Busch Stadium, home of the St. Louis Cardinals of Major League Baseball. Historically, after the New York Yankees, the second most successful professional baseball team in the majors. And here we are in St. Louis, Missouri. And I'm going to guess, I probably should have looked this up in advance. This is the Missouri River that we're flying over right now that runs through St. Louis?
Mississippi River.
The Mississippi, really?
Yes. That thing is quite long.
Yeah.
So about the complexity, my son argued a few days ago that sim flying is more complex than real flying. Because apart from the whole real flying thing, you actually also have to do the sim. You also have to master the sim.
It's more like the interface, right?
With camera viewpoints, with which buttons to push, how to move around with the camera, how to control the weather, how to control all the stuff. It's more than just. So you have to fly if you want to do it properly. You have to fly like in real life, and on top of that, you have to actually master this program as well. And I found that an interesting way of.
うまいこと宙返りでくぐれんもんじゃの。
The Gateway Arch, the ground it sits on, and I think I'm true. I think I'm correct on this. I believe is actually considered a national park in the United States, and by area, it is the smallest national park in the United States. Is anyone able to in chat? Is anyone able to confirm that? I think that is true, but I think the Gateway Arch is actually technically a national park.
Google.
これあれしたら落ちる。
Oh, okay. We got DNH is confirming that, and just Daniel YT says a St. Louis native and confirms it as well. Excellent.
4回。
Well, look at the shadow it's casting.
Gateway Arch National Park is the smallest designated national park.
I see someone saying it is the Mississippi River. I mean, I'm on Google Maps here. I do see that the Mississippi River.
Definitely wanted to end our
み
flight
んなもうくぐるのに
today
も飽き
here
た
in
か
St. Louis,
ね。
Missouri, and flying underneath the Gateway Arch. Again, something you would never do in real life because it's unrealistic and dangerous, and you'd be violating the airspace of a national park. And Las Vegas, yeah. I mean, well, where did they formerly play when they were in St. Louis, though? Oh, it's the Edward Jones Dome, of course. Yeah, the greatest show on turf. That's right. They played indoors. Still on medium finals. Yeah, the Rams moved to LA, and then the Raiders moved to Vegas. Not sure what's going to happen first, Peter flying under the arch or me landing my plane. I think Peter's going to beat me by a minute. Very nice, Peter. All right, switching over to my POV because I'm on short final. Guys, once again, thank you so much for joining us for Community Fly-In Friday. Hope everyone got to admire some of the new scenery from World Update 10 USA. In particular, the highlight of today's show was the St. Louis Arch, the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. But also, we talked about the high school in Little Rock, which had a very important role to play in American history during the civil rights movement back in the late 1950s. Hope you guys learned something about that as well. We'll be back next week for another Community Fly-In Friday. Same time, same place. And hope just as many, if not more people, will join us for that. I think Jane will be back next week as well. Should be exciting. She won't be on vacation any longer. A lot of you are saying it was your first flying and you had a great time. Well, that's awesome. We're always welcoming new people, and really glad you enjoyed it this week. Like we say, we do this every single week. So hope you'll be back, and we'll see you again soon. Peter, I switched over to you, or Cookie, are you down yet?
Yeah, that'd be me. I'm zooming through, trying to get through, now slowing down.
Okay, yeah, looks like Cookie's first, then Peter.
Runway in sight.
Yeah, it's difficult to try and land quickly with Tail Dragger.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Well, yeah, it'll be fine.
So I got a question, and I know there's going to be some of you out there. Do we have any Halo fans in chat? I played Halo 1 to 3 like 20 years ago, or 15 years ago. Most of Halo takes place in space, but there are some levels that take place on Earth, right? Aren't there some like that are in Kenya, like Mombasa or something as a location in Halo? Anyone know in chat?
landing gear down.
I'm thinking maybe we could do a Halo themed flight in the Pelican, flying over Kenya next week. We'll see. Stand by.
I'm in.
Presidential, hello to you. Welcome. I wonder, I legit wonder if we can get the rights to play the Halo theme.
That'd be interesting.
Like, honestly, I'm not sure. There's some, I work for Microsoft Flight Sim, just something that's like above my pay grades, like legal and stuff, knows and licensing. Who owns that theme, the composer or Microsoft?
Completely.
The composer owns the composition.
Yeah. So we may, even though we're Microsoft, we may not be licensed to play that.
Probably are.
I mean, you just probably want to get permission before triggering the automatic stuff. Ooh, there we go. We're on the ground.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission, right?
Not sure that's how it works in real life.
I will push you over to Peter's point of view for his landing, and then we'll sign off.
So you hear the gear horn.
It's so much better when I can see your cockpit in your camera. My immersion is peak.
For Peter. Oh, you mean my background? Yeah,
yes.
I'm gonna do that every day from now.
Good.
Every flight.
Yeah, I think some people got fooled.
Long Haul Skies has got an interesting comment here. It says, get York to make some calls. He probably knows Cortana. Let me tell you something, Long Haul Skies. If you saw the video with York at the Smithsonian that we aired a couple days ago, he was wearing a flight jacket, and his call sign was, is it Mercy? M-U-R-S-I, or Mercil? Something like that? I can't remember. Something like that, though. But
Group of GA here.
I probably didn't have my tail wheel locked, which doesn't help.
Well, everyone, we're a little bit over time. We're 20 minutes late. My apologies. We're going to sign off here. Hope everyone had a good time today on Community Fly-In Friday. Hope everyone's enjoying the new World Update 10, Local Legend 5, and the Halo Pelican. And then, of course, the 40th Anniversary Edition coming in November. The big announcement we made last weekend. We'll see all of you again, same time next week for Community Fly-In Friday. Signing off, this is CDL. See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
あ、これ新しいリバリーだ。消えた。おしまいだ。じゃあ皆さんお疲れ様でした。じゃあ、皆さんさようなら。また来週。